Hey guys, hope you're all well. Right, BMW again. We should, fingers crossed, have a good week on it this week. There is other things to do behind the scenes. I've got to finish an Enfield frame off, stuff like that. I want to continue laying out the light bar idea for the van. Hopefully they'll become a little successful thing. Who knows? I don't know, but I won't know till I try it. So I've got all that laid out, and then if it is, I'll start getting bits laser cut for that to cut down on time in here. I've got a stack of axle plates and gearbox plates for the Enfield frames. I've now got enough to do 10 of them, because they do trickle away. You know, they don't sell like hotcakes, but they do trickle away. And I had completely run out of these things. I like these. I've never had them come like that before. Look at that, like a little what do you call it, airfix kit. I don't think I'll be just twisting them and snapping them off though. I think the grinder will have to be involved in that one. Right, we're going to pull this out. We're going to do the side panel on the other side. Now, as you know, this bike, each side, it's odd, it's different, and I don't mind that. I'm not building it for its looks. I actually wouldn't have chose one of these if I was building a bike for its looks. Thinking about it, this is getting built for a job. We're going to try and build this so it's like a bit of a Swiss Army knife. It does what it says on the tin. Hopefully does it well, and it's got everything on it. So yeah, we got to drag the bike out. I've also got to do this plate. I might do that. I just want to get the other little panel done first. We've got to get the air intake snorkel and pop that on, because our little panels sort of got to negotiate around that air intake snorkel. So yeah, I'll find that wherever I've put it. I was thinking about that as well. Yes, I can go and buy a new one at 40 odd quid, I think they are. I could make a little bracket and repair it. That'll cost nothing, bar a little bit of time. We'll see. We'll see. How many corners should I cut? I don't know. It's basically cost cutting. Anyway, let's find that little snorkel, drag this out and get on with it. Okay then, got the bike pulled out. Got me a bit of cardboard. I forgot I'd done that. That's going to be fine to copy for the other side. Now, the other side, I was also thinking, I don't really need that little cutout bit I done to get your hands in to lift the seat up. I don't really need that on both sides. I don't think so. And I don't want to do anything that's sort of unnecessary. I think, you know, when you pop the catch to the seat, as soon as I can get into there, which I can, just to pull the seat up. That'll do. I don't need it on both sides. So I'm just going to do this one plain, I think. The only other bit that's different on the other side, like I say, we've got the air intake snorkel, which I've just rested into place for now. We've got that. So I think this side, we just stay plain and simple, and that'll do it. I ain't even got to do a cutout for the air snorkel. It's nice and tucked in. I don't think, I know it's going to have some people where it'd be nice to have the two panels matching. I personally don't think it matters. It really don't. Like I say, it's unnecessary, it's extra work, and I can pull that seat up with one hand. If I went and done that cutout, I would probably never ever use it. So to me, it's unnecessary to do. Yes, I get it, to make them look the same. Both sides of this bike are odd anyway. So let's stick with the theme and make them odd. Why not? So yeah, just a simple one for this side. I'll say, as we get it together and I start getting it into metal, we'll see if it does need a bit of shaping around that air intake snorkel. I don't think it will, which would be also nice. So this will be a really easy. I've just had a friend round who is coming over when he gets a bit of time. This week it will be. we are going to start going through the wiring, because he's also owned one of these bikes that he's done a fair amount of work to. So with that big glitch of wiring we've got on this bike, 2 heads are going to be better than 1. But yeah, I put it all in a plastic bag, out of sight, out of mind. We'll have a quick reminder of the horror that we've got to go through. Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to that part of the build, but it's got to be done. So what we're going to do, we're going to spend a couple of evenings, probably a bit more than a couple of evenings actually, going through everything, the part of it that actually makes this bike run. That's all I'm interested in doing at the moment. And what we can run through the motor gadget unit when I get that. But mainly it's going through everything that makes this bike run is what we're going to do this week. And hopefully, maybe, we'll have it started up. We'll see how that goes. The fabrication, if you think about it, we've nearly done that part of it. We're not far off. There's a couple of little bits. Someone's bleeping. There's a couple of little extra bits I want to do. I'm pinching an idea that they have on the Yamaha Tenere, which is a fantastic idea. I don't know if I've mentioned it, and that's a towing eyelet on the front. So on the Yamaha Tenere, they've got a nice chunky towing eyelet that comes out the headstock. What I'm going to do on this bike, because there's no room in the bottom of the headstock to do it on this bike, I'm going to make some big chunky brackets on the frame to do me a towing eyelet there. So if it came to it, if the bike had a full-on failure or whatever in the middle of nowhere, it can be towed out of there by whoever you're with. And with the strap being in the middle, the strap comes straight through the center of the forks, so you've still got sort of full control over your bike. So I will be doing fabricating eyelets for that as well. First, we'll get this done. Right, I've quickly cut the plate out. I've done the fold, just the same as we've done on the other side. And we're definitely going to have nothing sort of collide and foul up with our little air intake snorkel there. So this is going to be pretty much straightforward. I definitely don't need to do the cutout to lift the seat. I think the one side is going to be more than good enough. But what I am going to put in this side, well, I'll be able to do it when I get one, is a little lever to lift the seat. I've got one that I've got an eye on. I think I'm just going to go and order it, so I've got it. So what I'll do with this, when that comes, I will do like a cutout in this, so it's sunken in, so you can't like catch it with your knee or your knee's rubbing on it and stuff like that. Well, it won't be your knee, it'll be sort of the inside of your leg. So yeah, I'm not going to have a key for the seat catch, because that's just another key you could lose. I'm trying to think of everything, absolutely everything, to make this bike very simple to get on with. But yeah, I'll get that ordered in a second. But it's just going to be a bit like a choke lever on an old car, something like that. Just needs something that just pulls the seat catch. So we will sink that into this side, but for now we can get the main bit of it done. Yeah, all good with the snorkel. It's miles away. I'm definitely just going to fix that. It's a little saving. It's better than nothing. I'll take it off. Let's take it off and have a look. It'll be a really, really easy fix, rather than just blow 30, 40 quid on a new one. Let's take that off. So that is what's broken. So basically we can shave that off, pop a M6 hole in there, make a new bracket in steel, and just have a new bracket there. That end that's a bit chewed up, It's not the end of the world, is it? We'll just dress that up. In fact, I'll do that in a second. I think on other certain models, that is the mounting point, that moulding in the plastic there. So if we can grind that one back so we've got that, I think we just fix it. Let's grind that off and tidy it up. We might as well have that bracket off as well. There we go. Right, let's get that off. Okay, I have just spotted something else. We have a bit of a crack. Don't panic. We'll try and basically mount that in from the other side. We've got nothing to lose. Let's give it a go. So, blowtorch and a bit of metal. The blowtorch is going to start. There we go. I'll heat that up and see if we can just basically stitch that together in the back. Might be able to, might not. Let's find out. Just doing a bit of it on the outside as well. I couldn't get at it all. So just so it's completely bonded together. Let that go cold and see if it's stuck. There we go. Solid. Just dress that up a little bit. Right, let's quickly cut that old broken bracket off now. So we got basically just a round blank disc there, hopefully. That'll do. I know it's not the best, but that has stuck solid. So now I'll just be able to pop a hole in that, make us another little bracket. Done. That'll be all right. At least I ain't got to buy one. That's the main thing. It's only a tiny saving, but any little savings like that, they all add up. That's usable. Well, it would be. It'd be usable when I get a bracket made. In a slight diversion of today's job. As you know, we was doing that side panel. and as I mentioned earlier, we need a little catch for the seat. I've just ordered it, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait for that to come before I continue with that, because I'm going to sink it into this side panel. Seems the best place to put it. It's a little tiny pull lever. Well, I think it's small. I hope it is. And like I say, I'm going to sink it into that panel, so I can just get it with your finger to pull the lever to release the seat catch, and I'll make a little area on there where it's sunken in, where it can't smack into the inside of your leg, your knee, or anywhere like that. I'm going to go through a couple of things as well with this video. This is going to happen from time to time. We'll be a bit, you know, full on with certain bits of the bike, and there'll be a bit of thinking out and stuff like that, but we're going to try and catch it all. So the bike is now in that state. Strip back a little bit again. What I've been doing is sorting this out. So this is back on. I was then thinking, does it really need a bracket? And I thought it had one, so we'll put one back on, because if something does catch it, the chances of that are very, very remote. But if something did catch it, it could end up tearing it out the airbox, damaging the airbox and all that business. And with the luck I have, that's highly possible. So I am going to make a little bracket for the front. We'll do that in a moment. I think the simplest thing is I have cut this down a little bit more, by the way, because it was touching the bike's frame, which, as you know, we have completely changed. So yeah, I've cut that down a little bit more. It's not a problem. So the simplest thing, I reckon I'm going to go from here to that little mounting point there. That'll do it. That'll be secure at the front then. So we'll do that in a minute. Like I say, we've got a catch coming, and I am going to put that in that panel which sits about there. Seems the best place to put it, and sink it in. So yeah, there's still a lot. I've been sat there now thinking of all the little bits and bobs. The list is still quite large, right down to I've just ordered another brake pot for the rear. So that was the original one. Yes, I could make a bracket and a strap that goes around it, but what I've done, I've ordered a small one, and I'm going to get it in this area here, completely out the way of everything. And the one I've ordered has the little eyelet on to bolt it directly to something. We'll just do a little eyelet bracket on the frame and it'll bolt direct to that. It just simplifies that. And a new brake pot, what was it, £5 something. And like I say, it's got the lug on, so we just bolt it straight on. No brackets to make as such. Well, not like if I was to fit that one. And it's quite big, that thing is. I'll say a small one, I'll just get it tucked in there nicely, completely out of the way. As I said before, these brackets are going to be temporary. It's just to hold it there while I get all the positions right, and then we'll make something more substantial at the back there. There'll be some brackets on this bike that I can remove as well. This one's for the tank, so that's got to stay there. I think this one done a couple of things. I'm not 100% sure, but I think one of them, the throttle cable may have gone through there. Talking of the throttle cables, I may hold fire on making the another point as well. There's so many things going on. I'm reading all the comments as well, because I do go through the comments to basically steal all your great ideas. I do appreciate the comments, as you know. Someone did mention, and it is quite a valid point, I was on about making a back plate and a base plate that basically the bag gets built around. More so the base plate. Yes, if you did take a tumble, something like that base plate in the bag, if that ends up smashing into your knee, that's going to hurt. So that is a really, really valid point. And they did like suggest maybe make the frame for the bag out of tube, you know, the little 10mm tube that I've got. Yeah, see, brilliant idea. I'm stealing it, thank you very much. Yeah, it is a valid point. I know there's a lot of sharp, jagged edges on a bike. You can't get rid of them all. For instance, I remember many years ago when, I don't know, late teens, early 20s, when we was all flying around on bikes. A mate of mine at the time had an accident, hit a van pulled out on him, and he lost, and I mean a massive chunk of his leg, the top of his leg here. Like, looked like someone had just took a carving knife to him and took a chunk out for dinner. And what done it, as he made his way over the handlebars after it all smashed into the van and everything, it was the big chunky switchgear had smashed into very, very jagged, nice sharp edges, which decided to take a good part of his leg away. I'll never forget that. And it was the switchgear that done it, because I remember going and getting the bike and jet washing body parts off it before I took it back to his mother's house. Yeah, I think should really get rid of them body parts before his mum sees it. Yeah, basically his leg splattered all over the handlebars. Okay, enough of that gory business. So yeah, good point on the bag thing. That's on board. Point taken. So yeah, got a new brake pot coming. I've got the catch for the seat coming. We're going to make that bracket in a moment for the air intake snorkel. It's just lots. All the little tiny fine detail parts can take just as long as all the big projects, you know, like making all the subframe and things like that. Add all these little jobs, it could take just as long. Still get a lot of comments about the weight. The bike's weight, not mine. You all know I'm fat. Yeah, I get it, 1,000,000%. I gotta be honest, I am not concerned about the final weight of this bike at all, not even a little bit. Let's say if it did go a tiny bit over from its standard weight, it's not going to make a blind bit of difference. Like I say, we're not building a race bike. And also, you got to think all the stuff that's not going back on this bike from standard trim. You know, we'll go through a couple of bits of that. For instance, the great big telly lever part that was here, the arm that actually went to that was heavy, very heavy. And all the suspension that came for that, all the linkages and everything, all that system was very, very heavy. We've also lost the exhaust cap. We've done a decap pipe. That thing, again, was extremely heavy. That's no longer going to be on the bike. It's gone. The standard exhaust silencer, they're just stupidly heavy. That's not going on the bike. It's gone. Before I bought this bike, someone had took all the ABS system off it. It's a thing that people done with these, apparently. I don't know. I don't need it. It's got brakes. The brakes are going to work. Job done. I'll control if it's going to go into a skid or not, like I have done with hundreds of other bikes that I've rode. So yeah, that ABS system is a fair, chunky, heavy unit. So with all these things that the bike's lost and it's not going back on it, I don't know the exact weight, obviously, but it's a lot of weight that's not going back on the bike. So that, compared to the bits that I'm putting on, if there is going to be a difference, it's not going to be a lot. either way, below or above. It's not going to be a lot. I'm very, very, very confident with that. Also, what are these? I'm sure, you know, you can get two weights on bikes, dry weight, wet weight. I'm sure the wet weight of standard bike, a standard trim, is about 249 kilo for this bike, standard, as it came out the showroom. If you put all the BMW luggage system available onto this bike, I've read that then becomes 280 kilo, thereabouts. So yeah, I am not worried about the weight of this bike with all the stuff. Yes, I am doing it all in metal. I've not got one single concern. Someone said I'll need Eddie Hall to pick it up. Eddie Hall will probably pick that up and sling it over his shoulder and throw it like it's a rag. Amazing bloke. Oh yeah, I found that quite funny. But no, I'm just not concerned about it at all. And when this is built, as I think I've mentioned in a previous video, I've got a friend of mine who's got a scrap yard. I'm going to go and put it on the scales up there. We'll see what it weighs, which will be interesting to do anyway. And if it is a huge amount over from standard, you can all come and throw rocks at me and rotten tomatoes and things like that. We'll have a bit of fun. Maybe not the rocks. But yeah, I've just got no concern at all, knowing what I've taken off the bike that's not going back on. I'm just hoping, because I do like that little silence. I know it's only a cheap one, but I'm hoping the bike's not too loud with that little silencer on. I've put the decibel killer back in it, because the standard ones on these, I've got it somewhere. It's through that door of chaos. It is huge, and it's not light at all. That thing's light as a feather, that silencer. So yeah, comparing what I've fabricated and put on and comparing to what's come off the bike, with a bit of an idea in my head, I'm not concerned, not one bit. If I was, I'd be getting worried and being like super careful of how I'm doing things and what I'm putting on it, but I'm not. I'm just getting on with it. Let's just say if it is a few kilo over, it'd be completely unnoticeable. I say it's not a race bike. But anyway, let's sort a little simple. Shall we make the bracket in aluminium so it's light? Being sarcastic. Let's get that bracket done for the air intake. Right, got a little strip of metal. Let's get a bit of a radius on the end. This is just a random strip I found in the bin. Do that just for a guide. And then we'll pop some holes in there, and it's got to be all bent into shape. It's got to. We'll put one end obviously on the snorkel intake, and then it's got to bend down across, and I think it's got to have a slight twist in it as well. But we'll figure that out. Let's just go and see if we're around the right length or we've got to shorten it or something. Oh, I also done the backing plate for the number plate, so that's all ready for when I get the plate. Obviously these will go countersink. That's just holding it all together at the minute. Right, what we got going on then? Oh, I reckon that's going to be about the right length. Is it? Oh, I think it will. Let's radius that end as well. and then we'll put some holes in the ends and then get it shaped up, and then we'll pop a hole in here and get a nut and bolt on there. Right, let's do a rough guess of where we're going to put some bends. So that'll go there like that. Let's get a bend about there. If we get another bend about there, and it's also got a twist because the snorkel bit is at a different angle to our mounting point. Does the folder want to behave itself today? Let's find out. Right. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I can fold it so it changes its sort of direction. I should be able to, shouldn't I? I've got to think about this. Can I fold it to change its direction? Yes, I can. Will I get it the right way? Probably not. Let me go and try it on the bike again. Right, I've just done a little mark on there. Will this work? Don't say anything. That seems okay. We'll just drill our plastic bit out. Hopefully without drilling myself. Go. Right, let's get some nuts and bolts. Nut on there. Threads on that are a little bit rusty, but it'll be all right. I can't get into that. Oh, I ain't got my socket sets in the van. Right, for this, for now, just going to put a plastic mud guard screw in here. Not mud guard, number plate. Just for now. Temporary. There we go. Bracket sorted. Okay, that's the air intake sorted out. That should be good enough. It's another little bit ticked off the list, isn't it? Yeah, not a lot's gone on in this video. As I've said before, sometimes it's going to be like that. I've been sitting down going through little bits of ideas and parts online, and it soaks up a bit of time. So when we get that little seat catch thing, I've ordered it, we will continue with that little side panel, because I do want to sink it in there so it's out the way, but you can still get at it. So we'll do that as soon as that comes, get that finished. Then we'll sort out the framework for our bag that we're having on the side there, get that done. But we're ploughing through it nicely though. It's getting there. I discovered something really good earlier though. It's got to be the best bit about the bike out of everything. Yes, very important. They fit in there a treat. All 4 of them. I can hide them from Matthew. Or, probably the more sensible thing, to get them out of there a minute. I'm running out of space in here, I'm in a bit of a mess. Or something like that. I always take these little backhoe sets every single journey I've gone on. So any little hiding place like that on the bike has got to be a bonus. I say I'm trying to build this in such a way where it's more or less got everything on it. So basically all I'm doing is throwing some clothes in a bag, throwing them on the bike and going. That's sort of a plan I want to try and achieve. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. I'm going to try. So it's got all the tools on, the puncher kit stuff, everything. The thing is with a bike, you don't have a lot of space to sort of do that without putting it all in your luggage. It would be nice if I can get a lot that's a part of the bike. The Swiss Army knife. Yeah. Someone also said that, you know, the bike won't be worth that much when it's done. You're right. It won't. I know that. You know, the money I've actually totaled it all up, the money I've spent on this, and the time. I mean, the time's not an issue. You could go and get something a lot newer and a lot better, but there's no real challenge in that. This now is about building this bike in this garden shed and then going putting it to the ultimate test. With the journey we have planned, it's going to be a proper test for the bike. Some of this journey is going to be possibly quite rough going, quite hard on the bikes. So it will be a really good challenge to say that I've built this bike in a garden shed and we're going to do this monumental journey on it. It'll be just a nice end to the videos, and I do want to keep the bike for future journeys as well. So yeah, hopefully it won't fall to bits, but if it does, that is totally on me. So yeah, I could have not built this and gone and got a later BMW GS 1250 or whatever it is and just gone on that, but this is become a challenge, and I think it'll be a nice little achievement. It'll be good fun. So the journey that we have planned could be around 8,000 miles. That's a little bit better of a test, building a bike and going testing it around the block and up and down the road, job done. So yeah, it's got to be right. It has. But we'll see how that goes. That is the plan that I want to try and achieve. Build it in here and go off and do that monster journey. Like I say, when we get further afield, the terrain could get, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to go and do anything crazy because I've already messed myself up, and I don't want to be fighting down caverns and trying to climb cliff faces on it. But a lot of it, you know, it'll be places that won't be tarmacked. So yeah, it will be a little bit hard on the bike, I will say, but we don't know. We don't 100% know what we're going into heading for this direction. Closer to the time, I'll show you a plan of what we do plan, and we'll see if we can achieve it. Basically, we've been looking at a lot of places, a lot of different places to go, you know, where we can experience some big culture changes and stuff like that. It can be quite restricted. I'll tell you, one of our main problems is we both have British passports. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? The world, we've got a beautiful world full of crazy people that mess all these things up. there's certain places you end up turning up and you've got a British passport, yeah, possibly won't go down very well. So we have got, to a certain degree, got to be careful where we try and get to. It sounds crazy, but it is a thing. It's like Russia at the moment. There was a thing there where I'd love to have gone and see, but I've heard a couple of stories now. One being, someone did turn up to Russia with a British passport and they just turned them round. This is just what I'm hearing. I don't know. Oh, it can be very, very difficult, which is a shame, really. But we have got some certain places where we think it will be okay. Again, we'll find out when we get it. You know, we're not going to get shot or anything like that. Well, I don't think so. Again, we'll find out. But it could be a potentially around 8,000 mile journey, which would be amazing for something that's been put together in a garden shed. So that's the challenge. Yes, it won't be worth a lot, but it's all about the challenge on this one. It is now. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I've got a little job to do with a friend tomorrow. I'll see what time we'll get after that. Probably none, but we'll see. But we should have the parts turn up so we can carry on with that little side panel, get our little seat catch in there, and just continue with the bike. What I will try and do, if we get any sort of videos like this that I don't do a great deal, I'll try and put it out the same day as a video. We've done a fair few jobs on it, so you might just get 2 videos a day. Everyone's going, oh no, can't watch him twice. I get that. But yeah, we'll keep plodding on. Any ideas, suggestions, bang them in the comments. That's what it's for. I consider myself extremely lucky, and I mean extremely lucky, that the comments are just fantastic. You see on the other channels so many people falling out and being horrible to each other and stuff like that. We don't get that, and that seems like a bit of a miracle, doesn't it, in this day and age? But no, it's fantastic. I appreciate all the comments, especially your ideas, because like I say, I will steal them if they're good. Definitely. So yeah, I appreciate all the comments, and if you got any ideas, you know, that could help with the build of this bike and with the plan of getting everything on it that the bike needs and stuff that's needed for you know, this sort of travel that we plan to do, where I am more or less just throwing my bag of clothes on the bike and going. It's like I've been thinking about water as well. You know, we've got this thing. Could I get that somewhere on the bike? And it carries water. There's petrol but in this one, so I'd probably have to buy a new one. Because that was another thing that we was doing, you know, is having to go each day, keep finding water. And if we do end up to certain places that we're thinking about, we are 100% going to need water. Without a shadow of doubt, we will need water. So it'd be nice to get somewhere on the bike where we could carry water as well. I'll say, I am not bothered about the weight. If it's needed, it's going on the bike. Just so, yeah. I won't call it the ultimate adventure bike, but it will be to me. It will. So we've got to think about all these things. Power as well, extra power. One of the things that we did struggle with, me and Matthew, on the previous trip, was charging stuff up. Because the way we travel, we're not going to hotels. This is the same plan as next year's trip. No hotels, no campsites, completely out there on the road, and quite a lot of it in the middle of nowhere. So we want to be able to charge things up. I know you can charge your phone as you're riding and stuff like that, but you know, head torches and all these little bits and bobs that we possibly will need to charge up. We did take power banks last time, but we drained them very, very quickly. So maybe some sort of auxiliary power system on the bike. Maybe I could run 2 batteries. I know on the camper vans and things like that, you can run split charging systems where it's charging your van battery up and your leisure batteries. A great big solar panel's out the question for this, obviously. Or maybe there is some sort of fancy solar panel that's available where you could get it out when you're more up. But again, most of the times when we stop to finish the day, it's going to be dark, so that renders your solar panel useless. You don't really want to be riding around with a great big solar panel hanging off your bike in the day when the sun's out. So yeah, we've got to think about all these things. So we are putting together a very, very, very usable bike. So maybe 2 batteries, some sort of split charging system, I don't know. Maybe there is some better power banks out there as well as that we could carry that won't take loads of space up. I don't know, it's all got to be looked into. But at the minute we've sort of still on the blank canvas part of the bike. We can sort of add anything to it if it's going to work and help with the trip. Also, my friend's coming round on and off this week in the evenings, because we're going to start working out the wiring to at least get this bike started. We may not get it started this week, but we're going to start going through the wiring just so we've got all the side of the wiring that makes this bike run. So we'll be doing that this week as well. And after that, it'll be the Motor Gadget M unit added to the bike, and that makes stuff really, really easy to do. But yeah, like I say, comment. Feel free to comment if you've got any ideas, things that could help with such a trip that would be a benefit being on the bike. Who knows, lighting for night time and stuff like that, anything, absolutely any ideas, I'd like to hear it. It'd be, you know, like I say, if it's good, I'm stealing your idea. Even the crazy ones, if you think it's crazy, just comment. It might be good, it might be a good comment that's really useful. We've got good people following this channel, no one's going to rip you apart. I've not seen that, but so yeah, feel free. I'm good with the jokes as well. I've got big shoulders, I can take it. It's any words. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm sure there's something else I wanted to mention, but I can't remember it. I can't. But yeah, it's getting there, bit by bit. And we'll see. Oh, that's what I was going to say, yeah. When I've got it running, and obviously I've got to do all the welding on all this steel work that we've done. There's going to be extra gussets going into places, because I'd rather build this thing overkill than have the possibilities of something failing. But what I am going to do when it is up and running is run it around a bit in its raw state, no paint, no powder, no nothing, and run it around, I don't know, a good month or so, just to iron out any potential problems or any better ideas that I can chop and change on the bike. So yeah, it will be getting run round rusty and it'll probably get rustier, but in the new year, I don't know, May time, April, May, it'll get that final tear down, get everything painted, powdered and put back together. But I feel like I want to run it around like this. It'll just make something really easy if I do need to change something. At least you ain't got to be grinding fresh powder coating down and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll run it around in its bare metal form for a while, see what happens, and I will do some mild off-roading on it to see how it fares up. Sort of a big test for it. Right, that'll do. Next video we should have some bits and we'll be able to get on with some other parts of the bike. Cheers for watching, guys. Take care.